Here we go. So, big brush, and we're going to wet, just with water, that bottom bit. It can either be an icy lake, or it could be, well, it could be anything. I've never really given it a thought as to what it is. It's just a bit. So we've got a nice amount of water on it. I'm looking sideways at it to make sure that it's got a sheen on it. And I'm just going to use the cobalt blue then. And just drop it in like that. Doesn't have to be solid. And then I'm just going to get, if you've got the turquoise, now's the time. Just a couple of lines of turquoise. Now I'm not sure whether to do salt or cling film. I'm probably going to do a bit of cling film, I think. And a bit of salt. Go on. So I just drop the salt on that wet thing. Wet paint there. Salt. Then the cling film goes on. And lay it on and bunch it up. So it's sort of creased on the, and push it down into the wet paint. And we leave that to dry whilst we do the rest of it. That's it. That's all. Good God, Sarah, you don't need that much. Okay. Taking the same brush and the same colour, we're going to make the sky. Then have some clouds. So I've got a puddle of ultramarine. I'll show you my puddle. I don't show everybody. So that's my puddle. It's not thick. It's almost consistency of milk. So that's it. Just straight ultramarine. Then the sky and clouds. Plenty of water on the brush. Go over with some plain water if it looks as if it's drying with before you get a chance to move it. So I put some on the brush and then I'm plenty of water. Whoa. So I've got a harsh line there. You can have some harsh lines, it's not. And I'm just darkening the corners from the top. You can't see the corner. There's a corner there, look, darkened. I've got water puddling at the top of my paper. I'm just wiping it. Don't want water in the puddle there. It's buckled and it's formed an arch. Now, normally I'd dry it, but if I dry it, the cling film will go everywhere. It will blow away, and so I'm just holding that down where there's no paint. If it was taped down properly, it wouldn't be doing this, so it's my fault entirely. I am going to get the hairdryer on it, but I'm going to save that bit by putting a piece of paper on so it doesn't blow everywhere. So I'm going to stop recording. So all that remains now is to do the houses. So I'm going to start with the left side of the house. Try and keep my hand off of the cling film. And I'm just putting some shadow in. They're not completely filled in. In fact, it'd probably be better if you put a little bit of water on them first and then let it bleed in. This one here I'm going to leave as white. I'm just dabbing a bit of paint off of that one. This is your time to mess about, to faff. This is faffing time. There's a bit here that is dark. On the wall. I'm going to do this as grey, so I'm going to put some clean water in. Well, it's not very clean actually, it's a bit grey. Just water. And then some paint over on the left side. Let it move across. This house here, water in it. Some of the darker Payne's grey. And just using the brush, just pull it across and in and across. This house here, because I'm going to leave as white, but we can do its roof. So paint the roof with plain water. Get some Payne's grey, dot it on the top and maybe the left side and let it move across. And we can do the same with this roof here. Plain water. Payne's grey to the left side and across the top of the roof. And it just sort of, it goes where it goes, and that's it really. You can make it a bit darker. If they look a bit light, you can go over it. Just do that bit there. Not happy with that bit there. And we need it to dry a bit. Change to the little brush. And I've gone into almost neat Payne's grey. Just doing that roof there. And the same with the other side of the roof. Just a thin line. And don't forget the chimney. And got the Payne's grey again. And where your roof has ended, draw a line. That's the shadow line. If it really is too wet, leave it. But you can put in the chimney. This one's dry. Again, almost neat. Damp brush, almost neat Payne's grey. Just put in that roof and do the other half. And then it's got an outhouse. So that's got a roof as well. Don't forget its chimney. This one's got a chimney. And I'm going to put in a shadow line underneath where that roof finishes. Just soften some of those edges there. This line needs to be darker. There. If yours is dark enough already, don't worry about it. I'm just doing this flat roofed building here needs a shadow line there underneath its roof. And then this is mostly with Payne's grey, and then I'm just going to do some little Payne's grey, little boxes. for the windows. This is a much more fiddly painting than we normally do. Somebody asked for a house last week or last fortnight, and I don't think they're here today. And the door, it gets the same treatment. And when you've got all those little bits done, chimneys, etc. I wonder how this is doing. Well, I think mine can come off. I'm not going to touch it, but it's off. I'm going to leave it as it is at the moment. Finish that door off down there. Give it another window. Try not to make your windows all the same size and so we've done all the chimneys there. So we're good at the moment. Payne's grey, almost neat, a damp brush and almost neat so that it's a good dark colour.
A grey.
Yeah, the grey. So can you all mute again, please? There we go. So I'm going to start from the left and just a thin line, wiggle it about. Can you see that? Yeah. It's winter. There's no leaves. One in front of this house. They're just flicks really, because you want them to end up quite thin at the top as a branch would. So it's just the last bit of it is a flick. I mean, I've drawn these in, but they're going in different places. I've got some trees in the same colour. I'm now going to paint try and not put my hand on the trees, the telegraph poles. Try and keep these straight. That's it, that's telegraph poles in, 1 and 2. And just looking at my lines for the roofs and the shadows, and I'm just going over a little bit, but remember that if you're going to do this, remember that you've done it. Otherwise, you just put your hand in it. I'm officially faffing now. Right, I just darkened up one or two of the windows, a bit dark, and this wall here is supposed to be dark. So anyway, I'm putting off the moment really of doing the wire. You need your thinnest brush. And we don't actually join the wire up. We start at one end of the cross bit of the, and we pull it, and with hardly any pressure. So I'm going to start here and just pull, and it's only going a little way. I'm not going to touch it again. And go to the other end and pull. Now we know it's not joined up, but the eye says, oh, it's got to join that up, otherwise it'll all fall down. So it's fine. So, and then I've got the last bit here. Goes off the picture, and I've actually done the other side of it. Then we just need to put some little birds. So it's a spot and a tail. Just a little spot and a little tail. Right, I'll do it here. He's not got anything to sit on, but a little spot and the tiniest little tail. And then you can put a few in the sky. Flattened ticks. And I just do a little tail on the bottom on them, so you can go and just tick the other bit up. So he's got a little bit of a body in the middle and his tail, but he's only small. And you can do them, obviously, they don't always fly upwards, they fly on their sides and they fly with their wings down. But it's not hardly any pressure at all. No pressure. Oh. Missed a tree out. That's it. And then if you can find anything else you want to have a faff at, now's the time. There's always opportunity. If not, you put your brush down. Mine is down.